Gen Z employees are struggling to find good jobs, and now a new survey reveals some of the reasons why. In a survey of 1,000 18 to 30-year-olds, only 16% felt confident and capable at work, while 84% said something is holding them back. Gen Z also has less experience than previous generations. Only 15% had any kind of job before age 16. That's compared to 39% of those in Gen X who worked before age 16. Joining us now is the author of the survey, Lisa Miller, a consumer marketing expert who has more than 30 years experience working for some of the most well-known companies. Lisa, thanks so much for your research and for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So in this, you found that many employers say Gen Z is not ready for the workplace. Why?
Well, there's a couple of things, and you hit a couple of them, is Gen Z today is so much less likely to have those early jobs. If you think back to the lawn mowing, babysitting, paper routes, those types of things just aren't happening today for Gen Z. So they're showing up to the workforce without some of those fundamental people skills and things like that. But I think one of the misnomers is that it's all because of AI and AI taking the jobs, but that just isn't the case. One interesting statistic is the job report was just out, and about 10% of 16 to 24-year-olds are out of work. Everybody's like, alarm bells, the sky is falling. Well, that's actually lower than the 30-year average. So while it's tough out there, there is still, there were still times where it was much, much, much worse.
Now, what practical steps can employers take to better manage, train, and retrain Gen Z workers, given the challenges your study highlights?
I think one thing is that in the job interviews, I have heard story after story where human beings show up to those traditional jobs at restaurants, at retails, at movie theaters. There's a job sign on the wall that says now hiring. A person comes in with a resume in hand and they say, go apply online. And they end up in the vacuous black hole of online applications. So I do think for companies out there listening, maybe relook at those policies and find out how you can, when people show up in person, to actually talk to them. The other thing that I would actually advise is on those job interviews for the online applications or in person, is just ask them about those first jobs. Don't give them that false hope, though. They want to be, talk honestly to them. So there's just so many things about it. I will say one thing, Veronica, is in that prepared, confident, capable 16, those that have a Christian faith are much more likely to be confident and capable. And so there is an opportunity to come back to their faith, and it gives them that confidence to move forward instead of being afraid to start. So there's some real positive story there.
So if you are part of Gen Z, is this a wake-up call? And what should young people do to help shape their professional development?
The one thing I would say is maybe stop being so picky about jobs. I think Gen Z, will say, you can do anything, you can do anything. Well, I think we need to stop saying be so picky about their jobs. Get those first experiences. If you're in high school, if you have a child that's in high school, get them a first job. Those first experiences have correlation to higher job satisfaction later, higher income, and even more likely to be married. So for Gen Z, just keep at it, and no matter what that job is, just get that first job for those life skills.
Lisa Miller, consumer marketing expert and founder of Lisa Miller Associates. Thank you so much.